Signs of holy presence versus evidence of evil presence. You can invoke the holy presence of God through a good prayerful and godly lifestyle. This is when you make serving God in truth and holiness as a way of life. It is obvious through this way of living, you will have the holy presence of Christ in your life. David states the joy of being in God's presence in Psalm 16 verse 11. And it says, "You will show me the path of life. In your presence, the fullness of joy. At your right hand, happiness forever." Through holy presence, you are joyful and grateful to God, regardless of the situation. The scripture says in Psalm 95 verse 2 and 3, "Let us come before him, giving thanks, with music and songs of praise. For Yahweh is the great God, the great King above all gods." When God's presence is evidence in your life, and as a believer, you will cultivate a habit of positive mindset. You are naturally optimistic in any difficult situation. You believe that God will always make a way where there seems to be no way. Besides, your natural instinct is always right, and you don't have a need to be scared or negative. You also don't succumb to negative inspiration. With holy presence, goodness and kindness of God follows you everywhere. Where others did not succeed, you must surely succeed. God's holy presence always makes a positive difference in things concerning you. In addition, you will get help whenever and wherever you need it. The scripture says in Genesis 39 verse 2 and 4, "Yahweh blessed Joseph while he lived in the house of his master, the Egyptian, and everything went right for him. So Joseph pleased his master, who made him overseer of his house and of all that he owned." This is a good example of God's holy presence in someone's life. Irrespective of Joseph being a stranger in King Pharaoh's house, God's holy presence made a way for him. Joseph found favor in Pharaoh's eye. He was more than a stranger. Humility is also a virtue that is key to attracting God's holy presence. The scripture says in James 4 verse 10, "Humble yourselves before the Lord and he will raise you up." From this scripture, it is obvious that God's presence will always be with you through the virtue of humility. His holy presence will not depart from you. Moreover, good and positive dreams are yours instead of nightmares. When you have the holy presence of God, some of your dreams are true and honest revelations. You have a holy presence, and God can do anything for you. The scripture says in Matthew 19 verse 26, "For human beings it is impossible, but for God all things are possible." But on the contrary, when you lack the holy presence of God, you will certainly notice negative signs here and there in your life. Be reminded that there are only two ways of living. It's either you have the holy presence of God or not. But as a true child of God, you must have the light of God. The scripture says in 1 Thessalonians 5 verse 5, "All of you are citizens of the light and the day. We do not belong to night and darkness." These signs may be the evidence of evil presence in someone's life. 1. Spiritual attacks in your sleep or dream. Don't underrate what the devil and his agents can do. The scripture says in 1 Peter 5 verse 8, "Be sober and alert, because your enemy, the devil, prowls about like a roaring lion seeking someone to devour." Don't out of fear overlook this type of attack. Pray and fast. It is better to be set free than to be in bondage. 2. Poor prayerful lifestyle. If you are a true child of God living a godly and prayerful lifestyle, the first sign to know that something is seriously wrong in your life is not having the zeal to pray again. You are not compelled to fast and pray any longer. The scripture says in James 4 verse 7, given then to God. Resist the devil, and he will flee from you. In addition, the enemy knows that in your prayerless life, you are so vulnerable. 3. You can't get a favor when you need it. It's so hard to get favors from people when you need it most, even people you have assisted at one time or the other. When it's your turn to gain, they will not be there for you. If you find yourself in this situation, be reminded that it is not a physical thing, it is a spiritual issue. The scripture says in Ephesians 6 verse 12, our battle is not against human forces, but against the rulers and authorities and their dark powers that govern this world. We are struggling against the spirits and supernatural forces of evil. 4. Depression and negative mindset. When you see yourself in a situation where you are not always happy for no obvious reasons, it's not normal. Sometimes you have suicidal thoughts. You never believed that anything will work out well for you, and it came out to be true. If you find yourself in this situation, you need prayers and counseling. Please kindly subscribe to my channel for more interesting topics. Put on your notification bell to be notified when I upload a new video. Share the video to friends and family. Comment and give thumbs up to the video. God bless you all.